Clickety, 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 clickety. The Head Crazy Crawler. Still made today, but do they still catch fish? Apparently old school stuff doesn't work anymore. I've got a rebuttal about that. Ready to run a gun? It's time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome back to Bassin 101. Old school. Does it still catch fish? Well, this is my rebuttal to a video that Randy Blaukett made a few weeks ago about the hellbender, that it doesn't catch fish anymore. Well, I've never been a hellbender user. Had them when I was a kid, I just didn't throw them. But before I make my rebuttal, let me remind you about something that Randy sees more bodies of water in every situation in 1 year that we might see in 5 or 10. He is a touring pro. He's got, 30-some years behind his back. All right? Randy knows what he's talking about, and I like Randy. I like what he has to say. And I don't disagree with him that much. However, old school plugs like the Crazy Crawler, which I have modified with split rings and owner ST hooks, just because it works better that way. I think they still work. Now, not all of us fish reservoirs. Some of us fish ponds. Some fish private lakes. Some of us fish rivers. I say just go with what you have available to fish and stick with the old school stuff. It's not going to hurt nothing, but the new school stuff isn't bad either. So don't get me wrong there either. But I disagree with him because, if you think about it, if everybody's out there throwing Lucky Craft, or everybody's out there throwing River to Sea, or everybody's out there throwing Mega Bass, and you pull out an old Bagley's or an old Head, you think bass see that on a regular basis? Bass today are no different than they were 40, 50 years ago. There's no evolution, as Randy says. I don't believe in that. Bass were created to be the way they are, and they'll always be like that forever. That's why bass in a pond, as far as water temperature and structure if it's available, or even cover if it's available, act no different than those in a river and those in a lake. They have their own thing going. And I don't see this thing where, fish evolve, fish get used to hearing things. Yeah, that's been the argument for as long as I can remember as a kid. So many people are fishing nowadays. That's why you do something different. Why? Because stuff like this is forgotten about. A lot of it's no longer available. You just have to go on eBay to find it. But it still works. I don't disagree with what Randy's saying, as far as on the main reservoir, the place like the Hellbender and Toledo Bend used to kill them back in the day. And now it doesn't. You can't even catch a fish on it now. I think he's got some merit to what he says right there. Like I said, I don't 100% disagree with him. But at the same time, you're kind of eliminating it because, they just don't catch it anymore. It's a completely different vibration, uh, completely different sound. Um, I'm kind of speechless about it. I mean, I really am. I'm like shocked. I mean, you go and tell me something like the flatfish doesn't still catch them, because flatfish will catch them. It's a very versatile crankbait, as I explained in my video about flatfish. What about spoon plugs? The old metal bait spoon plug. You think they won't catch fish anymore? Ain't no other bait on the market like it. Never has been. I mean, what about the hair jig? You know, guys still make hair jigs. I still tie hair jigs. Are they done too? Gosh, they've been around almost 100 years. Are they no longer any good? What about the boy howdy? The tail-weighted boy howdy. Is it no longer any good too? I mean, they reissued it. Why would they reissue it? Because nobody else out there has a bait like that. And it serves a good purpose. Of all the soft plastic stick baits that are out there, or not really stick baits, but the soft plastic fluke style baits or whatever, does that mean the Sluggo is out of it? Sluggo is too old school? It don't catch them like they used to? Well, I know they do because Randy did a video on Sluggos. So I know they still do. But you see my point. What about the Bomber fat-free shad? You know, it's approaching 30 years on the fat-free shad. Is it not any good anymore? They still make them. Still come out with new colors. What about old spinner baits with the rubber skirts, like the old Strike Kings, Okie Bugs, things of that nature? Was the rubber skirt spinner bait old school? Doesn't catch them anymore like it used to? I mean, what about the Rogue? Smithwick Rogue? I guess they don't catch fish anymore either, huh? Because you've got Mega Bass now, you've got Lucky Craft, and, Duo Realis, Smithwick Rogue, they ain't going to hit that no more. That's old school. And last but not least, what about the original Bomber? This is probably one of the only weedless crankbaits that are out there. And they're forgotten about. Not with the old farts. We still remember those things. They still catch fish. I don't know. I really don't. I have a hard time buying that, because as much as I buy the new stuff, or I don't do it no more now, but as much as I was buying the new stuff, I do a Realis, the Mega Bass, all that kind of stuff. Honestly, I found myself just kind of eventually going back to the old stuff. Not that it doesn't catch them. New stuff does catch them. But so does the old stuff. But everybody's thinking, well, bass have evolved to the point to where they know this, that, and the other. I don't buy it. I think fishing pressure has more to do with it than anything else. Not only fishing pressure, but the mood of the fish. Not all of us are going to go out there every day and catch a limit. I'm very thankful just to go out. But to go out and at least catch one, I'm fine. Now, if I get on them, I get on a certain pattern that they're on, that's even better. But you're going to tell me that baits like this don't work anymore, especially since they're still on the website and you can still buy these things. This is a new one. So you're going to sit there and tell me that stuff like this don't catch them anymore. That's going to be a hard boot to tie when you ain't got shoelaces to support it. It really is. I see where Randy's coming from. I don't buy it, because I still catch them on the old school stuff. And I catch them on new stuff too. But I don't know. I just have a hard time swallowing that pill. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Maybe you're in the same boat. Maybe you think I'm a complete dolt and what Randy says is true. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion on it. There's no sense in bashing anybody about it. If it works for you, it works for you. If it works for me, it works for me. If it works for Randy, Can't say it don't work for him. You know, so everybody's in their own little boat. So if you get into it with somebody about, you know, these old baits like this, well, they don't catch fish like they used to. You know, are you catching fish on them? Well, then he's got an issue with throwing the bait, not you. So don't worry about it. But that's all I have, guys. I just wanted to kind of do a rebuttal on that because I think Randy's wrong, but I'm not going to bash him because of that. I mean, he's got his reasons for thinking like that, and I think it's good he did a video on it because it definitely will make you think. If you don't do a video, nobody's going to think about it, right? That's what I do here. I tend to hit topics that not a lot of guys talk about, and I think they should. So I wanted to give a shout out to all the new subscribers that are popping up, man. Welcome aboard, guys. Glad to have you. And oh my gosh, the emails and some of the comments I've gotten have just been hilarious. And I love talking to you guys. And some of the emails I've gotten have come up with some pretty good ideas too. So keep those coming. If you've got photographs or anything like that, don't think I won't post them. If you got photographs of stuff or whatever, and if you don't mind, I'll post them on videos. I enjoy seeing what you guys catch, what you guys build, what you make. That's the whole part of this sport, man. It's just so fun to be in it. So until next time, guys, may the Father bless you and keep in Yeshua's name. Keep your lines tight. Spring's rolling around, man. Fish are moving in. Start hitting them brush piles. And as always, fish on.